Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where every day we try and simplify those complex technologies that are transforming businesses, our lives, entire industries, and indeed our world. And I recently discovered a company called UTRUST. And I was hoping to meet with them at Magento Live when I was there in Amsterdam a few weeks ago, and due to the craziness of the event, we just couldn't make it happen. So I invited them on the show today. And the reason is because the ethos in the company is that they believe in cryptocurrency is the money of tomorrow. And before you say, hold up, Neil, hold up, we've heard this before, stick with me and you'll thank me later, I promise you, because UTRUST is helping merchants easily accept digital currencies for goods and helps buyers pay with them. And one merchant at a time, they're revolutionising how payments happen. And the company is building a global PayPal-like payments platform with extensive cryptocurrency support. And for those of you that do talk into your podcast player while you're listening and muttering under your breath, okay, Neil, but what about partnerships and what about real-world adoption? I'll hear your cries. And that's why I'm excited to get them on, because the UTRUST platform went live earlier this year when football club SL Benfica, they came on board as the first merchant and the first major European football club to accept cryptocurrency. And since then, they've gone on to add Phone House Portugal into its growing list of merchants. But when I dug a little deeper, I quickly got excited, curious and intrigued in equal measure. So that is the reason that I'm so excited to get them on the show today. So I hope you find today's conversation as informative, inspiring and entertaining as I did. But enough from me. Let's get Sanja Kon, VP of Global Partnerships at UTRUST, onto the podcast now and find out a little bit more. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. So my name is Sanja. I'm the Vice President of Partnership at UTRUST.com, previous executive from eBay, PayPal, and Vodafone. Live in London, travel all over the world.
Excellent. And my understanding is UTRUST was founded in 2017 and is a cryptocurrency payment solution offering instant transactions such as crypto to cash settlements and buyer and seller protection to enable customers to embrace blockchain technology en masse. And there's so much talk at the moment about increasing mainstream adoption in this space. But to people outside of blockchain and crypto that are listening, feeling a little bit nervous whenever they hear those words, can you just tell me a little bit more about the kind of problems that you're solving and why blockchain actually opens up opportunities that were previously unavailable until now?
Yeah, for sure. So your description of UTRUST was perfect. Thanks for that. So the mission of UTRUST is really to revolutionize the payments industry. And so my background is traditional e-commerce and online payments. And while I was working at PayPal, it became really obvious to me how, traditional online payments, and when I say traditional, is not only credit card, but, any type of traditional payment gateway, are really obsolete, and they end up charging really high prices, especially for merchants, especially for smaller merchants and also sellers who do a lot of cross-border trade. So really, UTRUST mission is to revolutionize the payment industry by allowing traditional e-commerce merchants to abandon these complex legacy systems and empower, simple, secure, instant digital payments transactions. And yeah, as I was saying, these traditional payment companies are not really keeping up the pace of innovation that is needed in the market, because online merchants, especially the smaller ones, the ones who do a lot of cross-border trade volume, they end up paying between 3 to 7% only for the payment processing fees, which is a lot of money, especially for like new merchants, someone small starting up, which is not really fair. And UTRUST offers the cheapest and most transparent rate in the market. So we charge a 1% fiat payment fee. And then we settle directly into the merchant bank account. So the operating model is really simple. We allow merchants to accept cryptocurrency payments from buyers. We immediately convert that payment into a fiat stable currency. And this removes the risk of price volatility, allows merchants to settle directly into their bank account. And really, for merchants is business as usual. And I think, moreover, the real innovation is that we eliminate the cost of inconvenient credit card chargebacks, fraudulent payments, which, with blockchain is completely removed. And, if you think about chargebacks, this represents more than 40 billion per year in lost revenue globally. So it's a huge improvement. And last but not least, unlike other crypto payment processors present globally, UTRUST makes the crypto payments more secure, because we have a buyer protection mechanism, which is really similar to what PayPal does in the traditional payment processing world. And we allow buyers to pay with multiple cryptocurrencies as well, and multiple wallets. So we don't rely on our own wallet as well, but we are open to working with any other wallet really in the market. So that's in a nutshell.
And as an ex-eBayer that used to sell an item and then have to pay eBay fees, and then, of course, then you're hit with PayPal fees as well. I still get nightmares about all those kind of extortionate fees there. And looking at what you're doing here, it almost feels like a global PayPal-like payments platform with an extensive cryptocurrency support that was probably inspired by your previous career as well. I mean, is that a fair observation?
Yeah, I think the principle is very similar to the PayPal platform, because from the merchant side, we integrate directly into the merchant online storefront. So either via direct API or e-commerce plugins like WooCommerce, Magento, etc. So for the merchant, this means adding an additional payment method, like they would add PayPal, for example. And the difference is that, at UTRUST, we truly believe in the democratization of the payment industry through the adoption of crypto as a payment method. And as you know, traditional payment gateways do not process cryptocurrencies. So in this journey, one of the biggest barriers is the user experience. And this is why at UTRUST, the top priority for us is to focus on providing a really top-notch user experience to both buyers and sellers, which I think is, one of the characteristics of the PayPal platform as well.
And UTRUST first appeared on my radar when I heard that UTRUST platform, I think, went live earlier this year, and football club SL Benfica came on board as the first merchant and, most importantly, the first major European football club to accept cryptocurrency, which is a great partnership and a great indication of how we're increasing mainstream adoption in this space. But can you expand on what that announcement meant to you and your team?
Yeah, so Benfica went live in June this year. They were our first official merchant because even though UTRUST has been present from late 2017, we've taken a good amount of time to develop our product, to focus on compliance, which is really important for us. And since the launch of Benfica, we've integrated with several leading e-commerce players. I'm just going to mention some of them for your reference. So Phone House, which is a global tech and communication retailer. Alternative Airlines, which is the leading UK OTA. They have more than 600 airlines. Gaming, so My Jackpot, a gaming company with more than 9 million users. And yeah, for everyone listening, they can go on our page and find the list of all the merchants and retailers we're integrated with. But yeah, we personally selected Benfica as our first merchant, being one of the largest and most valuable sports clubs in the world, and also being representative for our team, as most of our technical team is located in Portugal. They are Benfica's fans. So there was a personal touch as well in this partnership. And, Benfica's commitment is building a strong community, They have a global reach. They have more than 14 million fans around the world. They focus on innovation, so this made them a perfect partner for UTRUST. And yeah, the partnership with Benfica gives access to its 14 million fans around the world to pay for either tickets or merchandise directly with crypto. And this is all powered by the UTRUST platform.
And there is a lot of talk in the industry about the needs to increase mainstream adoption in this space. But I kind of imagine that your community is going to be constantly demanding regular updates and more partnerships. But at the same time, all the great work you're doing is going to be locked down to NDAs that prevent you from talking about it. So can you share some of the challenges with encouraging adoption and how you're actually turning this into an opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. So cryptocurrencies, blockchain, it's still a difficult concept for many people to grasp. And, this is certainly one of the things that has kept them out of the mainstream yet. And at UTRUST, we feel that, more information about crypto will certainly lead to greater adoption, greater use across the board. And this is why exactly we're focused on partnering with the world's leading companies who will help us in evangelizing the benefits of crypto payments, and will also open up doors for more buyers, more sellers to adopt this technology. So I've mentioned a few companies with whom we've partnered. And to us at UTRUST, the rise of cryptocurrencies is a big opportunity to change exactly the way that people look at finance, look at technology, and look at how they conduct business around the world. And in order to achieve this, we need to make sure that merchants can accept cryptocurrencies easily. So we're focused, therefore, on selecting the best retailers, the best merchants that can represent our growing ecosystem, starting with large-scale retailers with a global presence. And in this way, we believe that UTRUST will be a synonymous with, highly recognized brands using digital currency to power their transactions. And in the long term, we will eventually reach more smaller niche merchants with smaller transaction sizes, because we want to be able in the future to serve really any size merchant across any vertical, not only large retailers.
And this space does have a reputation for having a real steep learning curve to people outside of the industry and can be incredibly intimidating for non-techies. So how are you tackling that issue?
Yeah, I think first of all, the steep learning curves are quite common for all new and disruptive technologies. So it's not really, blockchain and crypto that is different. Is any disruptive technology has a steep learning curve, and it takes time for people to learn. And although it's true that, it might be intimidating for non-techies, we believe that focusing on education, user experience will help us attract more and more customers into the space. And our partners, our sellers, our merchants are extremely happy with the support we provide. And, all of them completed the integration really easily, with much faster times actually than any other traditional payment gateway. And we're also heavily, focusing on providing webinars, training for buyers and sellers to evangelize the benefits on crypto payments and help them to learn more and more about it.
If we do have anyone listening that is still unconvinced, can you advise them why they should pay with digital currencies and why they should ultimately sign up with UTRUST or find out a little bit more information about UTRUST and where the future is heading in this space?
Yeah, sure. So for anyone interested, I gave, I think a year ago, a TEDx talk about online payments where, I explain my personal journey and story of why I got into crypto payments. And I'll give, just a short story again. So last summer, I was traveling in Canada, and basically, I had 2 credit cards with me. One was like my traditional UK credit card, UK bank account. And the other card I have was, without saying any names, but a banking system and a card which allows you to, remove which allows you to basically interchange different fiat currencies without any additional costs. However, like when I went to withdraw money from either one of the two cards, I wasn't able to. So one, my bank blocked me because I was located in a different country. And the other one, I reached my limit in the amount of fiat money I could withdraw for that month. So I had, I was on vacation. I had to borrow money from friends in order to travel. And this, really shows you how today, you're not even in control of your own money. So the money you have earned, you're not even able to, withdraw it, to control it, to take the amount that you want. And I believe that, in an increasingly globalized world, moving money, withdrawing money, paying for goods and services across borders should be as simple as sending, emails across borders. But in fact, it's not. And today, paying for goods and services, sending money to someone, taking your own money, it's not easy, it's not instant, especially when you are traveling or when you are moving money across borders. And with cryptocurrencies, they remove the concept of cross-border. They allow you to pay instantly anywhere in the world. You can send, money from point A to B independently of where you are, and you have complete control over your own money. You can, manage it however you like. You don't rely on a central banking system or any other system in general. So that's on the buyer side, and I think on the merchant side, even more, as I was saying before, traditional banking systems and payment system will charge you a lot of money, up to 7% on each transaction. With cryptocurrencies, this cost is extremely lower. So for merchants, this means extremely lower costs as well.
And like you said at the beginning of the podcast, you are based in London, but you do get to travel around the world. And we missed each other at Magento Live in Amsterdam recently. But I also know that you were at the Web Summit in Lisbon. And we will have people listening all over the world that have not been to these events and get to listen to the kind of conversations that are going on in there. So can you tell the listeners a little bit more about Web Summit and the great tech scene in Portugal that they probably are not aware of, and ultimately what you took away from your time at the event?
Yeah, sure. So this was my first Web Summit event, actually. I didn't even imagine that it was that big. So it brings together more than 70,000 people. It's in Lisbon. And for us, it was really a great opportunity to connect, talk, network with tech pioneers, such as, eBay, Microsoft, Amazon was there. And really an occasion to connect with relevant players in the e-commerce and digital payment industry. So this year, UTRUST has arranged a meetup during Web Summit. So the meetup was held at the Microsoft headquarters in Lisbon. And it was, targeted to anyone really interested in crypto and blockchain. So the title of, Crypto and Blockchain Adoption, What's Missing? I was moderating the panel, and some of the industry leaders were there as speakers, such as Cointelegraph was there, 500 Startups, Bet Protocol, and Bright Pixel. It was, it was a really, really good event. And yeah, even though we are headquartered in Zug, in Switzerland, and I'm based in London, most of our team is in Braga, in Portugal, and that's really our technical headquarters. So most of our technical team is there, and UTRUST is one of the leaders in the tech ecosystem in Portugal. The great thing about Portugal is that, we have a really friendly government for technologies and for crypto and blockchain. So we're able to collaborate really with the regulator directly.
And you've enjoyed a phenomenal year with so many great partnerships announced. But I've got to ask, as we prepare for life in 2020, what is your primary focus going to be next year? And how are you aiming to top this year?
Yeah, so 2020 will continue to be a very strong year for partnerships for us. So our partnership approach is really unique in the market. because first of all, we hand select merchants that we want to integrate with. We partner only with technology pioneers in the e-commerce industry, and we develop a really unique and tailored approach in order to, first of all, help these companies to attract new and tech-savvy customers and buyers. And second of all, we help companies to improve their operational efficiency by drastically reducing their costs associated with the payment processing, as I said before. So more and more tech-savvy customers, millennials, people who want to be in control of their finances are using cryptocurrencies more and more to pay. And this is a wide audience, growing mainstream. So we help our partners to reach out to this new market segment of customer, which is worth more than $200 billion. And next year will also be the year where we invest more. We focus on our digital wallet. So actually our digital wallet is coming out in the market tomorrow. So it will be released tomorrow. And it will be available on Apple and Google Play stores. So this means that really any user around the world can download the UTRUST wallet on their Apple or Android device, and they will instantly be able to create the multi-currency wallet to pay for goods and services with cryptocurrencies.
And for people listening that would like to find out more information, find you online, maybe join your community or even contact a member of your team, could you just point them in the right direction of the best way of doing that?
Yeah, so you can head on our website, utrust.com. You can join our Telegram channel as well. We are present on Twitter. Or you can send an email directly to me, sanja@utrust.com.
Excellent. Well, I cannot thank you enough for coming on today and sharing why you believe cryptocurrency is the money of tomorrow. And through one merchant at a time, you really are revolutionizing how payments happen. So a big thank you for coming on and sharing that journey with me today, Sanja.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
I loved hearing about how UTRUST is helping merchants easily accept digital currencies for goods and also helps buyers pay with them. But mainstream adoption is the key to everything in this space. And for that reason, when SL Benfica came on board as that first European football club to accept cryptocurrency, it made me stand up and pay attention. And for merchants, reaching a growing base of customers using digital currency is easy, whether that be online or offline. And for any retailers listening who could possibly be thinking, but Neil, why would I bother? It's a volatile space at the moment. Remember, cryptocurrencies cut out the middleman and lets merchants keep more of their profit margin. And that should be your ROI right there. And many people listening will have tech solutions in place that have cost considerable investment, but can they offer that same kind of ROI? That is the reason I'm excited by this space. And I also think it's a big wake-up call for businesses that are actually middlemen, and that's their business model. And when I spoke to Gary Vaynerchuk earlier this year about that very topic of how emerging technologies such as blockchain and cryptocurrencies will affect businesses, he said to me, anybody in the middle, from the person that makes the product to the person that consumes the product, is vulnerable. Technology is coming after you. And if you're in the middle, you need to pay attention to that statement. So true. But over to you. Email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. Tweet me at Neil C. Hughes. Keep your thoughts coming in. I want to hear contrasting opinions, your insights, your expertise, and any challenges that you're encountering. And let's learn a little bit together. So keep those messages coming in. And I'll return tomorrow with another guest where we're going to tackle another industry, another technology, and try and put it in a language that everyone understands and learn a few things together along the way. So a big thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.